that takes you deep into the heart of Louisiana's history and current, most chilling true crime stories. I'll be guiding you through the darkness of these crimes and all of those involved. Each week, we dig deep on those forgotten crimes or those crimes currently happening with the underlying legends that continue to haunt us. So lean in, listen, and get ready because true crime is anything but ordinary. Stay with me as we unravel what happened in these mysteries. Okay, so we're on episode number 3, season 2, and this is gonna finish the Bourbon Street attack. If you have not listened to the first 2 parts, I highly recommend that you stop this recording right now and you go listen to those first 2, because if not, you might be a little lost. If this is your first time listening, hi, my name is Sarah S2E3, and I'm your host for Criminalist Behavior Podcast. I really want to thank you for listening to the show, and I hope you enjoy it. So, when I say enjoy it, I really don't mean enjoy what the subject's about. I just hope that you enjoy the content that I am giving you, so you could just get all the information in reference to this heinous crime. So, first off, trigger warning. This episode may contain content of a graphic nature, including physical violence against adults, children, and animals. Listener discretion is advised. So I'm going to do a little quick recap just in case you got lost within a week. But Samsa Din Jabbar was the individual that was charged inciting a terrorist attack on Bourbon Street in New Orleans on New Year's Day 2025. And he actually mowed down with his vehicle a Ford F-150 that was actually rented from a sheriff in Texas through a personal vehicle rental app where you can lease your personal vehicles. But yeah, so Samsud killed 14 victims and injured dozens more. And when I say dozens, the count just keeps going up. So let's highlight those victims right quick because they need their names heard. And we're not going to forget about them. So, 26-year-old from Montgomery, Alabama, Andrew Dolphin. 23-year-old from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Kareem Badawi. 43-year-old from Harvey, Louisiana, Brandon Taylor. And we have 21-year-old Gretna resident, Hubert Gotra. From Picayune, Mississippi, 25-year-old Matthew Tarandorio. 18 years old. Yeah, 18. By the way, the youngest victim of this. He was from Gulfport, Mississippi. I said he. I do apologize. She was from Gulfport, Mississippi. Her name was Nakira Dato. And 27 years old, Nicole Perez was from Metairie, Louisiana. 37-year-old Prairieville resident, Reggie Hunter. 27-year-old Martin Beck from New York City, New York. Yes, he was in New Orleans. 63-year-old Terrence Kennedy from New Orleans, Louisiana. 40-year-old from Slidell, Louisiana, Elliot Wilkinson. 25-year-old William DeMeo from Holmdel, New Jersey. And then we have 31-year-old from London, Edward Pfeiffer. I hope I did pronounce that right. If not, let me know. And last but not least, 45-year-old Latasha Polk, resident of New Orleans, Louisiana. So, we did a whole recap on these victims, described all of them in episode number 1. Episode number 2 was pretty much based on Samsa Din Jabbar and his family and a little background of him. Now we're going to be focusing with this episode the security measures that were failed during this whole ordeal. So they wonder, a lot of people are wondering, how the hell did Samsa Din Jabbar be able to plant 2 IEDs and blue coolers within Bourbon Street area, and 2, how the hell was he able to just drive down Bourbon Street? If you're not from Louisiana, let me recap again. Bourbon Street is a party street. It should be barricaded on both sides. Nobody should be able to drive down it because it's literally a strip of bars, and they got some restaurants in there as well. But it's like a party street. Everybody's just walking the street, having a good time, laissez bon temps brûler, let the good times roll, because that's what Louisiana's about. We're about our culture, our heritage, and just having fun. And that's exactly what all these individuals were doing on New Year's Day. Not only were they celebrating in the great city of New Orleans, Louisiana, but yes, they were actually bringing in the new year when this horrible, horrible accident happened. So, how the hell did SAMHSA get Mount Bourbon? Well, they are in the process of trying to do the security measures, and they're talking about putting certain things in place, but they did have cop cars blocking off the street. Dude, Samsa Din Jabbar went around the cop car and then immediately floored the gas pedal on this truck, and this is when he mowed down all these individuals, and then he ended up wrecking into a crane on Bourbon Street, which we're not even going to talk about. Like, why the fuck was this crane just, on Bourbon Street? Well, I digress. Anyways, he wrecked into the crane. He got out. He had an ID around his freaking neck. He had a tactical vest on. And he got out that truck and he went to shooting everyone in his path. And the police ended up killing Samsa Din Jabbar in a police shootout, trying to detain the situation and keep everyone in the area protected. But a lot of people were injured. Not only were they mowed down with the truck, but other people were injured by the gunshots just flying everywhere, right? So, in response to the attack that claimed at least 14 lives, they actually have erected barricades on Bourbon Street as the investigation continues. Superintendent Kirkpatrick informed a CNN representative called Ryan Young that the city is actually hardening the target, which, what? So basically, they're aiming to make any unauthorized access nearly impossible. So the strategy includes elevating existing barricades and deploying heavier equipment and installing barriers that restrict the sidewalk entry. So, when Samson was able to just fly down the damn street by going around this cop car, well, they're going to have measures in place, which this should have been happened because this is nothing new. This is something that should have been taking place way before this whole event happened. But the superintendent Kirkpatrick actually announced that Bourbon Street opened that following Thursday of the attack. And this was because the Sugar Bowl was taking place. The Sugar Bowl was scheduled to begin around 4 p.m., and she expressed confidence in the ability of officers to ensure public safety in New Orleans. Now, I'm not sure how Kirkpatrick could actually guarantee safety with the police officers because, hello, the police was there when Samsa Din Jabbar went flying down Bourbon Street. So, yeah, they reacted rather quickly. They tried performing life-saving measures on all these victims, but they didn't prevent the fucking attack from happening. So, how are you securing this? You can't no, it's not. I don't think it's possible. So, New Orleans is preparing to host the Super Bowl, next month, and Mardi Gras, and end of February, beginning of March. And Mardi Gras is something huge in the state of Louisiana. Not too many other places have a whole Mardi Gras. Well, they have parades, but it's not considered Mardi Gras. Like, Mardi Gras is big in Louisiana. It's part of our culture. So the Sugar Bowl was happening that Thursday, and then now they're trying to prepare how they're going to host the Super Bowl, NFL, right? And Mardi Gras. And this actually draws within 1 million people every year, y'all. 1 million. You gonna tell me that New Orleans has enough officers to cover that? No. Nope, they sure the hell don't. City records indicate that New Orleans is currently engaged in a significant initiative to remove and replace post-like barriers known as bollards. And these bollards are intended to stop vehicles from entering different streets. This initiative commenced in November, and it entails the installation of the new removable stainless steel bollards in place of the older models. So, people are wondering, have there ever been any similar deadly attacks involving vehicles in Louisiana for this incident? The recent incident in New Orleans exemplifies a growing trend of using vehicles as instruments of mass violence globally, not just in the state of Louisiana, but globally. It's making other areas in the country and the United States look at their barriers to see, are they actually able to prevent this shit from happening in their area? And the pattern has raised concerns among law enforcement officials, such as attacks pose considerable challenges and able to prevent this from actually occurring again. And I'm with that. Apparently, last month, a 50-year-old Saudian physician drove into a Christmas market crowded with shoppers in Magdeburg, Germany, and this resulted in the deaths of 4 women and a 9-year-old boy. In 2021, a man drove his SUV through a Christmas parade in suburban Milwaukee and was sentenced to life in prison after a judge dismissed claims from him and his family that mental illness was a factor in his actions, which resulted in 6 fatalities. So as you can see, this is nothing new. It might be something new in Louisiana, which it's not, but I mean, this mass majority, I could say that, this horrific, like the amount of people involved, yeah, I think this might be the first. Additionally, an Islamic extremist received a sentence of 10 life terms last year for the 2017 truck attack on a bike path in Manhattan. And that claimed 8 lives on Halloween. In that same year, a self-identified admirer of Adolf Hitler drove his vehicle into counter-protesters at a white nationalist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. And that person is also serving a life sentence. So the incident on Bourbon Street has reignited a long-standing discussion within New Orleans regarding how to ensure safety in the French Quarter, a location that attracts millions of visitors each year. And it actually helps support the economy of South Louisiana, and it remains a residential area, all while preserving the unique qualities that make it a cherished destination for tourists. So, the assault carried out by Samsa Dan-Jabbar shifted the city's attention from preparations for the Super Bowl and the forthcoming carnival season of Mardi Gras, right? And this whole ordeal, like, y'all, we've been celebrating this for over 300 years. This is an 85 square block area, and it's home to numerous hotels and over 100 restaurants, serving as a cultural and economic hub that contributes hundreds of millions of dollars annually to the city. It is renowned globally for its historic architecture, Creole cuisines, Dixieland jazz, and Bourbon Street, which, if you don't know what Dixieland jazz is, we don't have that anymore. Dixielanding is no longer a thing. We do have Blue Bayou. Well, actually, now that I'm thinking of it, Blue Bayou Dixielanding. You know what? Blonde moment. Y'all scratch that. Okay. Okay, so we got Blue Bayou Dixieland. And it's a theme park and water park mix. It's got amusement rides. It's got, water slides, roller coasters, all that good stuff. And it's quite freaking fun, y'all. We go there every summer with my children. But anyways, the neighborhood is inhabited by approximately 3,000 full-time residents and 350 small business owners. So, according to the First American Title Insurance Company, John Caspin, he stated the following: there will be extensive discussions regarding security in the French Quarter in the future. And he also stated this area is our most valuable asset, and it's imperative that everyone feels secure while they visit. Now, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, like Louisiana, is high on crime, but New Orleans specifically, you got your 9th Ward, your 7th Ward, like, these are specific areas in the New Orleans region. And they're high on crime, from murder to theft to carjacking. I mean, oh my God, it's freaking horrible, right? And the next case I cover, y'all gonna really see some statistics, okay? But in the days following this horrific tragedy that happened on New Year's, civic leaders held news conferences to commend first responders, mourn the victims, and provide any updates of the particular incident that occurred down Bourbon Street. They also expressed confidence in New Orleans' ability to recover, particularly in the tourism sector. So what that means is they're not going to forget about this event. Nobody's going to forget this, for one. This is a horrific event, and it should have never happened. But we're going to continue to grieve for the families that were affected by this horrendous attack. And they're going to get policies and procedures and barriers in place to prevent this from happening again. And they state that so many people rely on the safety and security of this area, and they want to ensure that the events will be remembered with respect, for one, and will continue to keep on with our heritage and culture. But they also understand that the well-being of the city must strive to return to normalcy and do better, right? So all these remarks provided an insight to significant challenges that the French Quarter, along with its associated violence, poses for any elected official in New Orleans or Louisiana for that matter. So over the last century, the leaders have sought to navigate the complexities of the French Quarter's cultural and tourism-driven economy while also maintaining the area's historical and residential integrity. So Bourbon Street, which was primarily a working-class residential area in the early 20th century, transformed into a prominent nightlife destination in the early 1940s. So efforts to combat vice often served as a political strategy for ambitious figures such as D.A. Jim Garrison, who during the 1960s led initiatives to conduct raids on clubs in the French Quarter. So the full-time residents were really not thrilled about this all turning into a nightlife thing on a daily basis. And I can understand that because, like, you need your peace, bro. Like, not everybody's listening to this loud music or having to deal with the drunks or have to worry about what tourism is bringing in, because any area, I don't care where you are in the world, any tourism, I mean, you're bringing these people and you don't know what they're capable of. You don't know their background, right? So we got to be mindful of all of this, and we got to have policies and procedures in place to protect all of this, right? And for our residents living in areas to actually have the normalcy of everyday life as anyone else living in a smaller suburb area that's not the party scene, right? So over the last century, these leaders have sought to navigate these complexities, and it all boils down to public safety. Bourbon Street is something that was converted into a pedestrian mall during the evenings, and discussion arose regarding to how to manage the traffic whenever it came to the nightlife situation. And this is both for residences and businesses because, again, people's businesses are getting broken into, graffiti, whatever, because people are just heartless. They sicken. So former New Orleans police chief Ronald Surface commenced his career as a patrol officer on Bourbon Street in 1980, and he was actually tasked with preparing the area for his nightly transformation in a party venue. So he actually recounted in a statement the following: in the past, we utilized yellow metal bollards that we would manually place into designated holes in the street at each intersection every night. Then, at the break of dawn, we would actually unlock those, remove them, and load them into the back of a van. So they did have security measures in place, I want to give a point, and it wouldn't be interfering with the day life. Instead of just keeping them up at full time, it was actually able to be removed. But over the past few decades, the emphasis has shifted from merely safeguarding intoxicated pedestrians and addressing noise complaints to preventing gun violence and terrorist threats. A mass shooting on Canal Street following the Bayou Classic in 2016, coupled with the international terrorist incidents involving vehicles as weapons, led then Mayor Mitch Landrieu to advocate for restrictions on vehicular access as part of a comprehensive safety initiative for the French Quarter. So this pedestrianization effort faced many oppositions from local business owners and residents, and ultimately a $40 million safety plan was implemented in 2017, which introduced numerous new crime cameras and increased police presence in the area, and additionally, they put safety bollards along Bourbon Street aimed at deterring vehicle-related acts of terrorism. So during the pandemic, Mayor LaToya Cantrell's administration put forth a proposal for a pedestrianization path in the French Quarter. And this included expanding pedestrian malls, limiting vehicular traffic, and reducing speed limits. And it was actually reimagining spaces around the French market. However, after lifting the pandemic related restrictions, the initiative lost momentum. So, in the light of last week's incident, with the whole terrorist attack on Bourbon Street, um, we have to consider what further measures can be taken. And we should explore all available options to enhance safety and ensure a secure environment. So, City Council members J.P. Morrell and Helena Moreno initiated a call for an investigation into the safety bollard system that will be occurring on Bourbon Street. They were questioning what additional measures could have been implemented to safeguard individuals in an area designated to be vehicle-free. Morrell emphasized that there were evident substantial deficiencies in the city's preparedness for this particular tragic event. And Contreras' office did not provide a response to requests for comments regarding this matter. So, determining the adequacy of protective measures remains a complex issue. And former Congressman and White House advisor Cedric Richmond, who has recently acquired several properties in a restaurant in the French Quarter, stressed the necessity of innovative thinking, particularly in relation for the whole Mardi Gras festivities coming up and the Super Bowl, right? He stated the following: "We must convey to the public that we are committed to ensuring their safety. However, it is essential to acknowledge that there is no absolute guarantee when confronting terrorists intent on causing destruction and fear." And that's 100% true. There is no guarantee. No guarantee. You can't guarantee something 100%. So Richmond actually also expressed that the threat of a mass shooting, akin to the tragic event in Las Vegas where 60 individuals lost their life at an outdoor concert, is as concerning to him as possibility of a vehicle being used to target a crowd, like what happened down Bourbon. He stated, "We will not be able to prevent every potential threat, as regrettably as that sounds. That is an unattainable goal in today's society. Cities worldwide are engaging in similar discussions regarding public safety, and New Orleans is part of a broader trend where urban areas are reassessing their strategies to ensure the safety of both residents and visitors." So what comes next, right? Micah Lowenthal, a real estate broker in the French Quarter, has resided in the area for over 10 years. He frequently walks the Galatories for lunch, and he enjoys socializing with neighbors during happy hours in their courtyards. And he generally feels secure in his surroundings even after nightfall. He believes there are numerous minor adjustments that could enhance safety in the French Quarter without necessitating significant alterations in the neighborhood. So he says, "We have signs that are down, broken sidewalks that are not ADA compliant, lights that are out, and I have testified about this to the city council and have been overlooked numerous amount of times." So, yeah. What the hell? You know why? Because, let me explain something. Louisiana, the way they use their taxpayers' dollars is just fucking unreal. We're not fixing the roads. We're not worried about fixing the streetlights that are burned. We're not addressing the fact that not every resident has addresses, the numbers of their resident on their homes to be able to dictate what house is what, especially in emergency situations. You would want to have your house number on your house. If you don't have that, how the fuck you expect EMT and other emergency personnel to find the address adequately, right? Unless you're from the area, you may not know, right? So, this is a concern, right? So, while the recent attack remains vivid in the minds of the community, Michael Wilkinson, a longtime resident of French Quarter and owner of FQ Realty, expresses that for him and several other residences, the intermittent and seemingly random gun violence that can arise during large weekend events and late-night activities poses the greatest concern. Because, yes, there's shooting every freaking day somewhere in the state of Louisiana. Multiple, actually. There's multiple carjackings, multiple thefts, burglaries. Like, it's freaking insane. We're like the crime capital of the freaking world, y'all. Like, it's ridiculous. Louisiana is horrible on crime. And everybody stresses this concern. The gun violence, yeah, it's out there. And before you get up on here with the Second Amendment bullshit, right? Let me explain something. I am pro-guns. I am an avid Louisiana resident. Grew up with guns. My kids grew up with guns. They know how to use them. They know the safety of guns. And we don't take them as toys. Okay? These retards that we call criminals, yeah, I'm calling them retards because they're criminals. Not in a mentally handicapped way. I'm saying retards because their actions, right? So, yeah, you could try to take our guns, baby. But let me explain something. We're not going without a fight, number one. Number two, these criminals, you think their guns are fucking legal? Do you really think their guns are legal? No, they're not legal. You got hot guns on that black market, boo. Like, people are modifying these guns, building their own guns. Like, when there's a will, baby, there's a way. You're not going to be able to stop it. You can't stop it. And the fact that you want citizens to go unprotected, shit, we need to protect ourselves because guess what? The dude that doesn't have a freaking license to carry didn't actually pass a freaking background check with ATF. Guess what? They still got a fucking gun. Why can't we arm the people, the good people who actually could pass a background check, actually mentally stable and buys a weapon legally? Why can't we have right to bear arms? This is an argument I will always address. We have right to bear arms because you know what? These criminals are bearing arms regardless if it's against the law or not. So that's enough about my rant on that. We are going to be able to protect ourselves one way or another. If that's the case, you want to take away guns because of the gun violence. What about the stabbings? Because guess what? Stabbings happen. You gonna take away our freaking knives? We can't have knives to cut shit in the kitchen? Like, be real. Like, we're not even going to talk about that. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. So, apparently, there's a person who operates 6 hotels, and this is Michael Valentino. And 4 of those particular hotels are situated in the heart of the French Quarter. And he advocates for comprehensive dialogue on public safety involving these businesses, residents, and other stakeholders in the French Quarter. Because this includes law enforcement, and he emphasizes the necessity of integrating this issue into our broader discussion. Any solutions proposed, whether they involve restricted access, limited parking, or designated hours for delivery vehicles, must adhere to a structured timeline. But these freaking policies and procedures are not in place, y'all. It's not. So, we need to be better on this. We need to. And I'm sorry, I just got a message, and normally I don't be listening to this, but it's an emergency, so yeah, bear with me. So, as business owners emerge from the chaos of the attack, they grapple with a mix of sorrow, financial concerns, and a need to provide for residents seeking a respite from their troubles. And city officials and Mardi Gras crews work diligently to assure the public that festivities would continue in a safe manner. Meanwhile, law enforcement stated that they were assessing and, in some instances, adjusting security measures, although they disclosed limited information. And this is just not enough because the public needs to know about this, right? Now, the problem with letting the public know about different situations is, guess what? The criminals are also entitled to that same information. We can't just stop crime. Excuse me. We can't stop crime like we want to. And it's ridiculous, honestly. And, excuse me, my throat is just, let me take a sip of coffee. Y'all bear with me. Okay, I think I'm good. So, law enforcement stated that they were assessing and in some instances adjusting to security measures, although they were disclosed to limit information. They were embracing the unique celebratory culture of New Orleans, and they want a viable path going forward. This incident echoed the experience of Mardi Gras in 2006. Now, if you're not familiar with that, the city celebrated the carnival in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, because Hurricane Katrina hit in 2005. So 2005, this is when Hurricane Katrina hit. And Hurricane Katrina was very devastating to the state of Louisiana. It really, oh my God, it flooded us. Like, and let me not get started on that topic, y'all, because people are talking about, like, I know it floods. Why the hell y'all staying there? Huh? It's the culture. Would you pick up and leave where the hell you grew up? This is us. We're not going to leave because of floods. And guess what? In your area, I'm sure you have some natural disaster. What you got? What you got? Volcanoes? You got earthquakes? You got tornadoes? At least hurricanes could be, like, we could be informed, right? People like that make me sick. Like, we're not going to leave because of floods. Like, no. Yeah, we got it. Brings me back to the tax dollar situation. If we spend our shit like we're supposed to, we could actually help the whole flooding situation. Yeah, Louisiana's surrounded by fucking water, but hello, we have tax dollars. We're putting them in keeping these criminals, for one, on death row for way too long. Number two, we're spending it on other bullshit. Like, fix Louisiana. Fix it. Fix the security, fix the police, fix the low-paying income, because, oh my God, y'all, horrible. So, the incident echoed the experience of Mardi Gras in 2006, when, you know, Hurricane Katrina aftermath was taking place, and this person, Heather Harley, I think that's how you say it. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. She's a 57-year-old resident. She was residing in an apartment on Lower Bourbon Street for over a decade, and she was a full-time resident in the neighborhood since 2021. And she supported an increase of police presence in the area with additional surveillance cameras, as she expresses concern that the implementation of the street closures and the establishment of more pedestrian malls could negatively impact her quality of life. So she's against having more malls happen. And the reason why the city's trying to add more malls, because revenue, right? Revenue. Money, and we're going to spend it on the wrong shit. So, this is something that should be taken into consideration. Now, Harley stated the following: "We have a wonderful life down here because there's an old-time sense of community." And she visits with neighbors on her stoop, and she enjoys walking to the nearby restaurants with friends. But she states that, I mean, they're desperate to try to hang on to the area because of the violence and just the party lifestyle, right? President-elect Donald Trump, y'all, he actually commented on the attack in a statement, pledging to assist authorities in their investigation once he assumes office. Y'all, I'm gonna read this statement from President Trump. Now, I'm not saying I'm against President Trump by any means, but I don't agree with this fucking statement. And y'all let me know what y'all think about President Trump's statement, okay? Not about him as a president, this statement following the Bourbon Street attack. "I have consistently stated that the criminals entering our nation are significantly more dangerous than those already present, a claim that was repeatedly challenged by Democrats and the mainstream media. However, it has proven to be accurate. The crime rate in our country has reached unprecedented levels, and our thoughts are with all innocent victims and their families, as well as the courageous officers of the New Orleans Police Department. The Trump administration will provide full support to the city of New Orleans as they work to investigate and recover from this heinous act." Signed, Donald Trump. So, in that statement, he is stating that, you know, his illegals and shit, you know, those are entering our nations that are significantly more dangerous than the people residing here. Let me explain something to you. Samsa Denjabar was a Texas resident. He didn't enter this country illegally. He was a U.S. resident. So that statement in itself with the whole illegal shit, null and void. It doesn't count in this situation because he was a U.S. citizen. Okay? Born and raised, y'all. Born and raised. So that illegal shit, no. Now I do believe that illegals need to stop coming into the country. Okay, I agree with Trump on that nature. However, not every illegal immigrant is out for crime. Not every illegal immigrant is going to commit crime, right? However, they should enter the country legally. Do the steps, take the precautions that you need to take, but enter it legally. I have no problems with you becoming a U.S. citizen after you go through the legal proceedings. But entering illegally raises concern. It raises concern because most people that are doing shady shit are bad people. However, we do have those people who are trying to get away from a bad situation like dictatorship or whatever in certain areas. And my heart goes out to those people, okay? And my heart really does. There's just got to be a better way to do things. We shouldn't make it too hard for illegal immigrants to enter the country. But at the same time, we should embrace that they should enter the country legally and not illegally. So that there raises a concern. So, President Trump, you're incorrect on that. Yeah, bear with me. My cat's just going crazy, okay? Lord, he just tried to walk all over everything, and no, too many wires. So, House Speaker Mike Johnson also stated that the attacks to Biden's immigration policies are taking place. He made the following statement. We here in the House and the Senate have repeatedly asked the Department of Homeland Security under the Biden administration about the correlation, the obvious concern about terrorism and the wide open border. The idea that dangerous people were coming here in droves and setting up potentially terrorist cells around the country. Again, Samsudin Jabbar was a United States citizen. Yeah, he was a citizen, y'all. He was not here illegally. Why are y'all focused on this bullshit? That's the wrong shit you should be focused on. Really is. How about getting help for those who are trying to come back from war? Those who are actually into being civilians, right? They have to cope on that PTSD factor because of the shit they have to deal with while protecting this country for their freedom. For you to be able to promote this bullshit. Okay? No. Samsudin Jabbar was not a fucking alien. He was not a freaking illegal immigrant. Y'all need to stop with the bullshit. So efforts to assist the victims and family of the Bourbon Street, this is where we need to focus on. Not the act of terrorism because, yeah, it was an act of terrorism, but he was a United States citizen. He was an illegal immigrant. We're going to stop with that and null and void. So the Greater New Orleans Foundation actually established a dedicated fund aimed to supporting the families affected. I just made a new word, y'all. Anyways, the Greater New Orleans Foundation created a fund to help those people who were in the New Orleans Day terror attack. And it's one of the several initiatives designed to aid those impacted by the whole mowing down and those bombs, and then the buildings collapsing and the Airbnb set ablaze. Like, the tragic incident on Bourbon Street resulted in 15 fatalities now and up to 35 injuries. As stated in a press release, the fund was initiated at the request of Mayor LaToya Cantrell. The Greater New Orleans Foundation expressed gratitude, noting the following statement. In times like these, when our community needs us most, generous people always step up to do their part. Donations to fund have already commenced, and there was actually a notable contribution of $25,000 from one sole source. That source, you ask? That's Saints defensive end Cam Jordan. Yes, I'm clapping. Go, Cam Jordan. Thank you for your contribution. For those wishing to donate or seeking further information, please visit the Linktree GNO Foundation. Okay, so you could go to linktr.ee/GNO Foundation, and you could retrieve any information for those wanting to donate or seek further information. The Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office Victim Assistance Division, in collaboration with the local partners, is operating a victims hub in the New Orleans Family Justice Center located at 701 Loyola Avenue. Now, they're open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Fridays. Victims can access various resources, including financial assistance, by visiting in person or by calling the following number: 504-355-0846. And any additional information is available through Crime Survivors NOLA. So if you Google Crime Survivors NOLA, it'll take you straight to where you need to be. A GoFundMe has been created on specific family accounts, so there are several of the victims that died in this attack, or those who were injured. There's several people doing their own individualized GoFundMes, and again, you'll have the list of all the victims affected on the show notes. But I can't because there's still victims till this day coming forward in reference to their experience on Bourbon Street. Right? There's a lot of people, and I could try. Y'all just keep monitoring. As I get names, I could just promote it. Right? But as of right now, the platform has listed 3 fundraisers for Matthew Tarandorio of Slidell, Reggie Hunter of Roseland, and Ryan Quigley of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. GoFundMe will continue to update this hub with new fundraisers as their trust and safety team verifies each account. To contribute to those fundraisers, please visit the GoFundMe.com. And you could type in how to help attack in New Orleans, and it'll bring you all up to the GoFundMes that are associated with the New Orleans attack on New Year's Day 2025. The Times-Picayune has reported the establishment of a GoFundMe campaign for Nicole Perez, who was from Metairie, Louisiana. That initiative appears to have been initiated by Kimberly Usher, the proprietor of Kimmy's Deli. So if you remember, whenever I was going over each victim, Nicole Perez was working at Kimmy's Deli. And that campaign can be accessed at GoFundMe.com, help cover burial costs for Bourbon Street victim. So additionally, a GoFundMe has been created for Adam Koss, which was a survivor of the Bourbon Street attack. And he was employed at the World War II Museum in New Orleans. Furthermore, the United Way of Southeast Louisiana has launched a relief fund aimed at supporting all victims, their families, and organizations that provide essential assistance. All funds raised will be entirely directed to those that were affected. They help to cover medical expenses, funeral costs, and mental health support for those who are dealing with this tragic event, right? For more information, you can visit the UnitedWaysELA.org/United for Lastly, Southern Smoke is a nonprofit organization based in Texas that aids service industry workers during crisis, and it's also accepting donations. These contributions will be allocated to financial and mental health support for Bourbon Street workers affected by the incident. Service industry workers can apply for assistance at southernsmoke.org/emergency-relief. So, again, I'm going to include all this in my show notes, so y'all could actually access that, and you could do a copy and paste for easier access, right? City officials also outlined various ways in which individuals can assist the victims and their families. The City of New Orleans, in collaboration with the Greater New Orleans Foundation, has established a New Orleans New Year's Day Tragedy Fund to provide support for those affected. The Victim Assistance Division of New Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office, along with other local organizations, is operating a Victims Hub at New Orleans facility Family Justice Center, and that is located at 701 Loyola Avenue. It's available from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Friday, and victims can access resources, again, financial assistance. They could go in person, or they could call the 504-355-0846. Additional information also can be found on that Crime Survivors NOLA website. Also, the Blood Center is organizing blood drives to support the victims of the attack. Those surviving victims that needed this, right? Because there's several people that got shot. So they have the following times and locations. Wednesday, 2617 at Edinburgh Avenue in Metairie from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Thursdays at 2609 Canal Street from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., 3500 Canal Street from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and the Pelican Athletic Club at 1170 Meadowbrook Boulevard in Mandeville from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Finally, on Friday, they have one at 2609 Canal Street from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Additionally, the 3rd District Volunteer Fire Department will conduct a blood drive at its headquarters, and their headquarters are located at 10415 Jefferson Highway in River Ridge. That's 10415 Jefferson Highway in River Ridge, and that's going to be on Friday from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. The Ochsner Blood Bank will also be accepting donations by appointment at designated collection locations. Families seeking centralized information regarding the victims can talk and contact 311 at 504-658-2299. And the New Orleans Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness has set up a family reunification center at the University Medical Center, aka UMC. Relatives of the victims are requested to proceed to the UMC Conference Center located on the 1st floor, opposite Tower 2, which serves as the central point of the hospital. In a statement, New Orleans Sheriff Susan Hudson indicated that individuals requiring assistance can reach out also to their sheriff's office. They have a victim service team, and their phone number is 504-827-6754 or 504-872-1059. Our Crime Victim Reparations Unit is prepared to provide support by ensuring that all victims and their families have access to assistance for funeral expenses, medical bills, as well as counseling and support services to help them cope with the aftermath of this tragic event. And that statement came from Hudson herself. So, the FBI said it is still in the early stages, that they're still investigating all areas of Avenue and the New Orleans attack, but they encourage anyone who thinks they may have any relevant information, whether big or small, because anything could help, right? Y'all need to contact New Orleans Field Office by calling 504-816-3100. Oh, I'm sorry. That is 504-816-3000. You can also email tips at fbi.gov, or you can submit a photo and video footage online at tips.fbi.gov/digital media /D3130368F. Yeah, y'all get the gist. Again, check the show notes. Saints defensive end Cam Jordan made that generous donation of $25,000 to the tragedy fund, and he was just expressing a desire to support his community, and oh my god, he's doing it. So there were many other residents like Jordan who woke up to the New Orleans shocking news of this dude and this terrorist attack, right? And according to Jordan, he made this following statement, y'all. I cannot fathom the pain, especially as a father of 3 daughters. The thought of losing a family member to natural causes is already unimaginable. But to endure such a loss due to what I would label a terrorist attack is beyond comprehension. My heart goes out to all those affected families and friends who will never see their loved ones again after what should have been a celebratory occasion for the new year has turned into a horrific tragedy. The New Orleans Saints, in conjunction with the NFL, also announced a joint contribution of $1 million to support the victims of the New Year's Day incidents on Bourbon Street, y'all. This is our Saints team, y'all. This is our Saints team. We bleed black and gold. Win or lose, baby. Why? Because they support their fucking community. $1 million, baby. $1 million with the NFL and the New Orleans Saints team combined, as well as Cam Jordan with the $25,000. Y'all, kudos to the Saints, y'all. Y'all better watch them Saints on Sunday, Monday. I don't give a damn. Y'all need it. Y'all need to reach out, y'all. Thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. Thank y'all for y'all support. Thank y'all. Saints owner Gail Benson will contribute $500,000 to the Greater New Orleans Foundation and United Way, a sum that will be matched by the NFL Foundation, which serves as the league's charitable organization. The allocated funds are intended to aid local entities that are providing direct assistance to the victims and their families. Furthermore, the NFL plans to pay tribute to the victims and those impacted by this tragedy with a moment of silence prior to their star-studded event. They made a statement, "Our hearts go out to all those affected by the tragic event in New Orleans." And that was from NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell and a release from the team. The NFL is dedicated to supporting the resilient community of New Orleans during this challenging period. Y'all, I can't even tell you how excited I am. Like, I am so thankful for these people who are donating. Whether money is not going to replace your loved one, but it can help you. Because you don't need to be worried about costs, medical bills, all this. You don't need to be worried about burial expenses, funeral. Like, you should be worried about putting your child to rest or helping your child cope with what they experienced on Bourbon Street and were actually able to survive this attack. Because survivor's guilt is a bitch. Survivor's guilt is a bitch, y'all. I'm sure those who've seen their kids, their friend, like family members, like I remember seeing some testimonies from some person that says, "Dude, my cousin was just there," and then they were gone. Like, oh my God, can y'all imagine? I can't imagine, right? So I'm going to go ahead and release these victims' names one last time, y'all. It's going to be all about it, though. We are going to honor these people every single freaking year from this day forward. I promise you we're going to honor these people. Again, thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for all y'all support, all y'all looking at, all the prayers, all of that, y'all. The victims, again, the oldest identified was 63 years old with the youngest of 18. We got Latasha Polk, 45 years old, from New Orleans. Edward Piper, 31 years old, from London. Holmdel, New Jersey, had a 25-year-old resident named William DeMaio. 40-year-old from Slidell, Louisiana, Elliot Wilkinson. 63-year-old Terrence Kennedy of New Orleans. 27-year-old Martin Beck, New York City, New York. 37-year-old Reggie Hunter from Prairieville, Louisiana. 27-year-old Nicole Perez of Metairie, Louisiana. 18-year-old Nakira Dato from Gulfport, Mississippi. 25-year-old from Picayune, Mississippi, Matthew Tarandorio. 21-year-old from Gretna, Louisiana, Hubert Gotra. Harvey resident, 43-year-old Brandon Taylor. Baton Rouge resident, 23-year-old Kareem Badawi. And last but not least, from Montgomery, Alabama, 26-year-old Andrew Dolphin. Keep these families in y'all prayers. Continue to support those who actually were able to survive. And look, if you don't have the means to donate money, prayers, share the GoFundMe, share, y'all. Sharing is caring, right? So, thank y'all for listening to this. And again, if you haven't listened to parts 1 and 2, please do, because these victims' lives need to be told. They did not die in vain. We will celebrate their lives, because they were just trying to celebrate bringing in the New Year's in our local community of New Orleans on Bourbon Street. If this is just tragic, y'all. I can't even put it into words. If you enjoyed our show, please rate and review us. You can do it on iTunes, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Rate us, share. Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell them all. Okay. Also, I am starting with the whole merchandise. We just launched merchandise. Still work in progress. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and I will get you what you need. I am developing sayings on shirts because y'all know my Southern twang. People like to make fun of it, especially my hey y'all. Like, oh my God. I know my kids make fun of me all the time. My ex made fun of me all the time. But, like, I can't help it. I'm born and raised Southern. Like, deal with it. But yeah, y'all look out for that merchandise. I'm going to share it on all the social medias. I'm going to also have a link into the show notes as well. But The hell with my merch, y'all. Y'all want to support these victims, please do. Because that's what I'm down for. I'm down for supporting these victims. My merch could wait. Like, if y'all want to support the show, that's cool. But I'd rather you give money to these families, okay? Just in case y'all didn't know about the merch is why I mentioned it. Not saying that, oh my God, please go get it. But, yeah. Y'all come back because we're going to cover some more cases, right? Y'all subscribe. Dude, I'm looking at the analytics and I'm seeing that most of my listeners are not subscribed. What the fuck are you doing? Y'all need to subscribe. It helps the show, y'all. Helps the show. Now, I'm not doing this to get rich and famous by any means. I'm doing this to get the word out there because Louisiana, it's just a little dot on the map, right? And the only people that are associated with Louisiana, they hear New Orleans. They don't think anything is south of New Orleans. They're like, what? They got people that live south. Yeah, hello, my name is Sarah. Hey, how you doing? I live south of New Orleans. New Orleans is actually an hour away from me. Okay. Anyways, until then, this is your host, Sarah Soudier, and y'all spread the word. And y'all pray for these families. Pray for these families. And check out our website, right? And thank y'all so much for listening. Until next time, I'm out. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend and a wonderful day. And may your 2025 be better than what happened in New Orleans, right? Because this is supposed to be our year. Let's rise and come above all of this. Let's unite as a nation, like it is said, right? Thank y'all. Y'all have a great day. I'm out. Bye.